First, I'd like to just say thank you to everybody for coming out and joining us for I think this is our 5th year holding a town hall meeting. And my name is Adrienne Deering, and I have the pleasure of presenting some awards to some of our scholars in middle school in recognition of our Imagine a Day Without Water campaign. Imagine a Day Without Water is a national awareness campaign that is designed to raise awareness of the value water has in our everyday lives, in our communities, but then also in the importance of properly maintaining our infrastructure, because without that infrastructure, we're not able to turn that tap on whenever we need it, right, at our homes. I know I often forget about that, it's always there. And one of the things that we've done with this essay contest is to engage our future leaders. We posed that same question to them, and we asked them, middle schoolers, to go ahead and take some time and imagine what a day without water meant to them, what that would look like in their community if no one in the entire community had any water. And we received several essay submissions from various schools in the community, including homeschool students as well. And before we get into who won, we actually have 4 winners this year. I want to show you guys what members of our community had to say when we had asked them the very same question.
Your water is always there when you need it. But what if it wasn't? Safe and reliable drinking water impacts nearly everything around us.
Our entire day is based off of water. Like, everything we do, we need water to do it. Like, it's energy. We have to have it to survive.
It would definitely degrade the quality of life, which would really limit the things that we typically do in a normal day.
Without water, I mean, we wouldn't be here. If we didn't have water for a day, then there'd be chaos.
Because you don't really know how much you need water until you need it.
We all need water, clean water.
With proper investment and maintenance of our infrastructure, together we can prevent a day without water. Learn more at cwwga.org. Columbus Waterworks, serving our community, protecting the environment.
To me, that's a good reminder. I a lot of times don't think about my water, especially I get up, I know it's there when I need to brush my teeth, when I need to wash my face. But here recently, we all learned that a lot of our neighboring communities, right, they had to face this challenge head on. So now to the essay contest winners, which I know you guys are all excited for it. We actually had ties in the first 3 essay places. So what we do when we have that scenario is we have a tiebreaker volunteer read through some of those essays, and then those, we'll add an honorable mention. So our honorable mention this year was unable to make it tonight, but it is Miss Michaela Baldwin from Smith Station. And so congratulations to her. We will be reaching out to her to provide her with her goodie bag and her certificate. All right. Our 3rd place winner is, I have the teacher gene where I terrorize everybody's names, so just bear with me, but I believe it's Nehemiah Park, and from Blackman Road Middle School. I don't believe they were not able to make it this evening either. Short notice, and we all have sports and schedules. Our 2nd place winner is Miss Stella Wynn with Richards Middle School. And Stella, if I can get you to come over here and take a picture with us. Your essay was really great. You did a great job on your essay. Don't put the words at a time. Yeah. How did I just get out of the picture? Is that better? All right. And our 1st place winner is also from Richards Middle School. It is Miss Katie Weisinger.
partner in education school. So it was really awesome that our first and second place winners came from Richard.
So congratulations again to all of our winners. And thank you and your support team who helped you do the research and helped you learn about all the different things, and your teachers for all of the great work that you guys had done. And again, a special thanks to all of our community volunteers who were judges in our essay contest this year. Now, so I understand if families don't necessarily want to stay, so I'll give you guys a moment. If you'd like to leave, we would love to have you stay and learn more about how we operate as an organization. So, and I would like to introduce our new president, Mr. Jeremy Cummings. Jeremy, if you'd like to come up, he is going to talk with you guys about the state of Columbus Water Works.
Thank you, Adrian. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm going to try not to use a microphone if that's okay. Before I jump into my presentation, I would like to say a few things. One, I shared on my social media a few weeks ago about Imagine a Day Without Water, and a friend of mine commented and said, I don't have to imagine a day without water, because in our county, we go days without water. And fortunately, in Muskogee County, we don't have that problem. We have a great water system, we have a great wastewater system, and we have a great team of employees that ensure that we provide safe and dependable drinking water every day to our customers. So, in line with that, I want to give a big applause to our team members that were here tonight, volunteering to answer questions, to serve our customers, to better explain their day-to-day job and how they impact you all's service each and every day. So if y'all would just help me give a hand to our Waterworks support. This is a team effort that we provide. No one is an individual who can do it all. So there are a lot of different departments represented tonight, and I really appreciate you guys for taking time out of your schedule to be here tonight. So our purpose is personal at Columbus Water Works. We protect our neighbors by providing essential water, the fuel of life. And we take that personally each and every day. It is our mission, it is our vision and purpose to provide you guys safe, dependable drinking water and to protect our neighbors by providing that. You guys are our neighbors, and we know that water is essential for life, and we do our best to not go a day without water. We serve 250,000 plus people. You know, our service impacts people. It's not just a business of things or infrastructure or things like that. It's about people and providing these essential services, but we're also protecting our environment, protecting the Chattahoochee River, which is our water supply, and the quality of life for our downstream users, Lake Eufaula and other users downstream. We are really environmentalists when you look at what we do each and every day in our day-to-day jobs. It's protecting that Chattahoochee River, that watershed, and making sure that it is clean and better after we use it and recycle it and treat it, put it back into the river than what we initially discharged. So we live here, we work here, and we play here too. This is our water system. I grew up in Columbus, have drank the Columbus Water Works water for 47 years. Only thing that's happened is my hair's falling out. I can't blame that on the water. That's just hereditary. So, but I say that to say we do have safe, dependable drinking water in this community, and I drink it, take showers in it. My family's here; they do the same, and we have a personal investment in our water system, each and every one of us. So we are proud to say that we've got one of the best, if not the best, water system in the state of Georgia and probably in the United States. What we'll cover today is the state of your utility. The Waterworks is a public utility. It's yours. We just manage it and maintain it and serve you guys by delivering water to your homes and treating your wastewater. We're going to talk a little bit about our accomplishments. Like I said, we've got an awesome team that is here today, and they have accomplished a lot in the last 12 months since since we've been in front of you to tell about our business. We're also going to talk a little bit about challenges. You know, if there wasn't challenges, you wouldn't need us to operate your system. So we've got challenges ahead that we want to be transparent with you all about and let you all know, hey, what's coming down the pipe, what are things that we're looking at, and how we're going to respond to those. What is our response plan going to be, and how we are going to make sure we have business continuity and continue to provide safe, dependable drinking water in the Columbus community. We're going to talk a little bit about financial planning. Carl Robertson's here with us. He's our CFO, and I call the money man. He's a lot better with numbers and finances than I am, and he's going to get in some details about our proposed 7.95% rate increase and where those funds will be needed and how they'll be spent. So, what we've accomplished in the last year, one of the things we're proud to say is we have received and achieved a Great Place to Work certification. This has been an accomplishment that we started in 2017 to achieve, and we wanted to create an environment for our team members that they would like coming to work, that they would enjoy coming to work, that they would have a smile on their face when they came to work. And the thought behind that is, if we take care of our employees, in turn, what? They're going to take care of our customers, because we're about serving our customers. So if we create that environment to where we're taking care of our employees and providing a great place for them to work, we're hoping that that transfers into you guys having a great experience with our utility and the work that we do every day. We've accomplished a lot of large projects. CIP stands for our Capital Improvement Plan. When you look at our facilities and all the infrastructure that we have to maintain and manage daily, we have to keep that infrastructure up and maintained and maintenance. So we have a capital improvement plan that goes out 30 years from now. It says, hey, these are the things 30 years from now that we're planning to address and be prepared for. One of the things you guys spoke and we listened was our customer service lobby opening. We have a lot of customers. During COVID, we shut our walk-in customer lobby down and just used the drive-through and online and other options like that. A lot of our customers voiced their opinion and wanted to be able to walk in, look face-to-face and talk face-to-face to some of our customer service reps. So you spoke, we listened, and a result of that is we opened our customer service lobby back up, and you guys have the ability to come in and ask questions and get your billing straight or whatever your question may be. So, and then awards, utility awards. Proud to say, look at this culture of exceeding expectations. This is a list of awards that your utility won this year. Plant of the Year for our Fort Moore Water Treatment Plant. Plant of the Year for our North Columbus Water Resource Facility. That's our main water plant right here on River Road. Platinum Award for the collection system and distribution system of the year. We got notification yesterday that we won those two awards again this year, so the tradition continues. Platinum level compliance awards for 3 of our plants and 9 of our wells out of Fort Moore that achieved compliance awards. And then our lab won a gold award in water and wastewater laboratories. So these are major accomplishments for our teams, our departments that do the day-to-day work. But not just that, we had individual and team awards from Ken Barber, who's here. Ken, where you at? Ken won the top water plant operator. Amy Gamble, Amy somewhere here I know. Amy won help the we had a state champion team for a work operator team award. Ken Barber was part of that. Josh Gradick and Jennifer Medina. I know Josh and Jennifer's not here tonight, but I say this to say we have an award-winning operation and we have award-winning people, and you guys should be proud of what we have at Columbus Waterworks. Moving right along, I want to tell you we do have some industry challenges that are coming. That we know we're going to have to face. And some of them we're already facing. We'll start with operational cost. Anybody here have to pay their bills, go to the grocery store, put gas in their car? Have you seen a change in cost recently? Things have doubled, things have tripled. Everything seems to cost more, it seems like, no matter what you're purchasing, no matter what you're trying to operate. So as we look at it from a water utility, I just want to give you a couple examples in the last 5 years, some of the cost increases that we've had to face. For example, chlorine. You know, we use chlorine to disinfect our water. Chlorine has gone from $345 a metric ton to $760 a metric ton. So we've seen the cost of chlorine in double, more than double. That's just one example from a chemical cost. We also use other chemicals in our wastewater treatment plants and our water treatment plants. So we've had to absorb those additional costs just to treat the water and supply the water that we've always had to. A standard work truck. In 2019, we could buy a work truck for a little over $36,000. That same work truck today costs us $43,000, a little over that. But we have to have trucks to be able to go read your meters, to be able to visit our customers and do the work that we do each and every day. Construction costs, you know, in 2019 was $150 to $300 a square foot. Today we're seeing $200 to $400 a square foot. When we look at construction costs to maintain our water pipe, our sewer pipe, our water plants, our wastewater plants, we have to pay these contractors these rates to keep them up and keep them operational. And then copper pipe, you know, our water service lines from the water main to the home are usually copper lines. 2019 copper cost us $2.09 a foot. Today, $4.76 a foot. So once again, it doubled. Just the price of copper has doubled. And then electricity. Anybody in here has an electricity bill going up? I bet every one of us in here. Guess who Georgia Power's largest customer in Columbus is? Columbus Water Works. We have to power our water plant and our wastewater plant. So you know we've seen it got increased from 12.5 cents to 15 cents a kilowatt hour this year. Got an email yesterday from our Georgia Power rep. They're going up another 2.5% roughly on our power rates. Being the largest power user in the city, it really impacts us. So anyway, those are some of the operational costs and challenges that we're seeing and having to absorb in our day-to-day operation. Not to mention, I'm sure y'all seen on the History Channel, Discovery Channel, aging infrastructure. The water pipes are getting older. The wastewater sewer pipes are getting older. The plants, we've got a wastewater plant, Carl I mentioned in a few minutes, built in the 60s. It's nearing its end of life. It's getting to the point that we're no longer able to fix things and maintain things, and we're going to have to replace that down the road. So those are challenges that this team in this room and others face every day with our infrastructure and operating it, and then not to mention state and federal regulations. You know, everybody wants clean water, right? And everybody wants environmental regulations and things like that to keep our environment safe and clean. But these state and federal regulations cost us money, and it's very expensive. I'll go into some more detail on some of those regulations. For example, a proactive response that we've had to some of these things, for example, lead and copper inspection program. I know many of you guys have seen Flint, Michigan, and the problem with lead and copper that they had in the past. Well, the lead and copper rule came out from the EPD, the Environmental Protection Division. We had to identify every water service that was in our system. So anything 1990 and older, any homes 1990 and older, we had to go out and visually verify what kind of material it was and make sure that there was no lead in those lines. And then anything 1990 and newer is when the building code changed, so we didn't have to do those, but we still had to go back and use work orders and verify with plumbers and things that no one had ever pulled any lead material out of our water. And I'm thankful to say we found out of 65,000 accounts, we found no lead in our water system. So that was a very good thing that we were proud to be able to say. And we also got that done prior to the deadline that the EPD required. So we had a team led by Caleb back here that did a great job on making sure that was accomplished and completed. So we're also responsible for planning for future operations with a master plan. I talked a minute ago about our master plan. Our engineering department manages that master plan, and they're looking at population, they're looking at aging infrastructure, and how we're going to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to our infrastructure. And what the population looks like. Many of you guys that have been in Columbus a long time remember when we had the big mills here. We had Swift Mill and all the different mills, that carpet mills and all. And as those mills have gone out of business, they were major water users. We still have infrastructure that we have to maintain and operate. So planning for capacity, planning for financial things like that, that's all part of our master plan that our engineering department oversees. And it's system redundancy for emergency preparedness. We all saw this last couple of weeks on the news with the hurricane in South Georgia and East Georgia from Valdosta over to Augusta, the importance of a water system. There's still communities there right now without water and wastewater services. I'm proud to say this team that was out here in the hallway earlier, we were prepared. We had multiple meetings, we've had training, we've got equipment, we had a plan to go forward if that storm was to hit here like they projected. Fortunately, we didn't have to respond to that, but I am also proud to say we have been able to help some of our neighbors in East Georgia by providing them some generators and things like that to help get their systems and communities back in water temporarily till they can get things back to normal. So system redundancy for emergency preparedness, all these things are a proactive response that we've had this year at the waterworks. So what are other factors that drive our rates? Delivering safe, clean, reliable water to our customers, returning clean water to the river, it costs money. From chemicals to employees to infrastructure, it all adds up. So when we're looking at maintaining and improving these things, you look at this top left picture here, that is our digester roof at our wastewater treatment plant. And we ran that roof to failure. When the contractor came in to remove that roof, we knew it was a risk. But when they came in to remove that roof, it fell apart in the process. So we ran that thing to the end of its life. And that's the things our operators have to deal with every day, is getting the most. And we do that. Why do we do that? To keep our rates down, to keep you all's costs down. We try to run our infrastructure as long as we can to keep our rates affordable and consistent so it doesn't impact you all. Regulatory compliance, you can see here the sampler at the top right, and then our lab technician there on the bottom left. We sample our water and test it daily. We do it for the water side and the wastewater side to make sure that you guys are getting safe water and that the samples meet our permit requirements. And then just once again, the cost increase is driven by inflation affect every aspect of our business. Carl will get into some numbers in a few minutes, but we've tried to keep our rate increases low. We've tried to keep them around 4% on average, and we thought after COVID that, hey, these costs would decrease, that we would be able to maintain that average, but unfortunately we're at the point now we can't. We have to go up and able to continue to provide you all the service that you are currently receiving. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Carl and let him tell you about our 5-year financial plan, and then we'll take some questions at the end.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. As Jeremy said, my name is Carl Robertson. I'm the CFO of Columbus Waterworks. Here to get a 5-year financial plan. So operational costs and overall expenses for us is a big driver. You can see on this chart, 58% of all of our revenue goes to operations and maintenance costs. And those are the ones that we're seeing that big inflationary number on. That's the portion right here. That 24% is our debt structure. So that is the payments that are going to pay the bonds that we take out to fund the big projects. No different than a car payment that you have at the house. 5% are what we pay to the city, similar to a franchise fee, for them to allow us to provide water to the community. And 13% is our departmental capital, so the vehicles and that type of stuff we see out of the city. Again, as Jeremy said, we look every year and try to make sure that we are providing the best value to the customers that we need. And we project ahead of time what we expect a rate increase to be, but we don't always take it. So national average year over year is over 5%. So if you're looking at this chart, that top line in the black, that's assuming if we took from 2016 till now, the national average yearly water rate increase of 5%. We were went from $32.21 up to $51.05 for your average customer. The line below that is if we would have followed what we projected each year. So most generally around 4% average, but that would have brought us from $32.21 to $49.75. But the important number is the one below that, and that's showing what we actually have taken. So that shows and that proves that we do look at our numbers and we make sure that we take just what we need in order to continue providing clean, safe drinking water. Operating costs, we talk about it, we'll talk about it again. We know they're expensive. In 2016, Columbus Water Works spent $37.5 million on operating costs here in the city. For 2024, we're going to be at $52.8 million this year on operating costs. Costs have went up. So what do I have built in to this 7.95% increase? In addition to our regular operating costs that we expect to increase, I also have a $100 million placeholder for a projected nutrient permit that's about to come down from Georgia EPD. That's a placeholder. That's to get us started. It's likely going to be $200 or more million. Additionally, we have a total of $110 million in master plan expenses planned. That's that CIP that Jeremy was talking about to replace water sewer lines on the street, big projects throughout the city. Now that's a $50 million increase from where we were at 5 years ago, but prices have went up. We plan on doing the same level of infrastructure improvement that we did over the past 5 years, the next 5 years. Okay, now operating costs again into the future now. So 2025, operating costs of $65 million. We project by 2029, $75 million. All right, big increase in costs there. So overall capital spending between now and 2029, we expect to spend $320 million here within the city limits on infrastructure and capital improvements. Okay? Of that $320 million, $100 million of it's that nutrient placeholder that I spoke about, and another $110 million of it is the master plan improvement. We need to make sure we emphasize this $320 million does not cover any expected cost from PFAS. We've seen it on the news. We expect more regulation to come down from that, but that's going to be an additional cost in the future to handle that. Also, our wastewater treatment facility is aging out. That is not built into this structure, and that will be another expense in the future. But right now, we are just looking at what we need to keep providing clean, safe drinking water to the community. I would be remiss to not point this out. This stuff costs money. We have to debt finance and use bonds. Over the next 5 years, we expect our debt finance payments to increase 74%. And that's in order to do the infrastructure improvement that's needed. Bringing us from $23 million worth of debt service in 2025 up to just over $40 million worth of debt service in 2029. What's this look like to our customers? That's the important part. For your average customer that is a low water user, so about 5 CCF, they're going to see a $4.09 a month on average, all average numbers, $4.09 per month increase in their bill. For a customer that uses 8 CCF, about 6,000 gallons a month, they're going to see $5.56. What I can tell you is if you took Columbus as a whole, 80% of our customers fall within this circle. That is a vast majority of our customers will see between a $4.09 and $5.56 per month increase. How do we stack up against neighboring communities in the southeast? Well, favorably. As you can see right here, Columbus Waterworks, about $53 on average for an average customer. They are firmly in the lower quarter of overall bills compared to other cities. Additionally, this is our rate for 2025, including this 7.95% increase. The other rates you see on this board are their current rates, and they also will increase, but we don't know what everybody's going to increase yet. So this is their 2024 rates versus what our projected 2025 rate is. Say, we stack up well, we care about the community. We do understand that the 7.95% increase will impact those with lower income more, and we are aware of that. So we've increased our monthly low income credit from $8.50 a month to $10.50 a month. Additionally, any customers that need financial assistance or need payment plans can reach out to us and we set those up for them. So we've kind of covered this a few times, but what else do we have in the future outside of this $320 million? Well, like I said, that nutrient, that $100 million placeholder is only a placeholder. There's going to be more. There's PFAS permit standards coming down the pipe. We're going to continue to control and limit CSOs, and our wastewater treatment plant is a large expense that's coming. Just to summarize this all up, we are proposing 7.95% increase across the board, taking effect January 1st, 2025. It's going to be between $4.09 and $5.56 for 80% of our population base. And if there's a customer that's having an issue, we offer payment arrangements and assistance for eligible customers. Now, we're going to answer some questions.
I would like to introduce Vic Birchfield. Vic is our Executive Vice President, so he's going to field some of these questions as well. So also we have John Peebles, who's our Senior Vice President of Operations over here, and Gwen Ruff, who's our Senior Vice President of Employee Services and Community Support. So if we can't answer it, I'm sure one of those two can weigh in as well. So, yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you, Mr. Birchfield, for answering my first question about the water sprinkler meters. It's a wonderful stone. We know it's a stone, and in stone that we do not get charged for that meter. We have it cut off by y'all. We cut off. He was sweet. He answered that question. But the thing, I went down to the city council about this water, and that's what this all started with me with Waterworks. I went down there and I told them that had we bought those meters, and we encouraged to sell these meters to the poor people, and now senior citizens got these, and they haven't paid for a bill. Well, now we don't have to. We don't have to pay for that meter until we turn it back on. But the next thing I found out that y'all went up in 20. Y'all went up in 1999. Y'all came down to the city and told me that y'all would go up 4.5% on that. And I understand going up. But then y'all jumped from 4.5 to 7.95. How long is that going to be staying on these poor people that's feeding kids and don't have the money now to hardly buy groceries? This is not really a good time. I know it's not a good time for y'all either. And y'all got a lot of problems that I wouldn't want to have. But I just want to know how long would that last until y'all come back and want another 12%.
Yes, ma'am. So absolutely great question. I completely understand your concern. I can tell you what we're asking for this year is 7.95%. We do project to drop back to 4.95 next year, but there's a lot of uncertainty, as we all know, over this next year. The interest rates are moving back and forth. There's an election, so there's a lot that can happen, and we don't know where we're going to be sitting yet. 6 months to a year from now, we'll have a better view. We do hope to bring them back down, but I cannot promise one way or another at this point, but please know we are keeping an eye on it.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I'll tell you, Carl and I we ran several models of looking, hey, what is the lowest we could go without it impacting our long-term finances. And 7.95 was as low as we could get it. 5 years from now, we're getting in our reserves if we don't do the 7.95. So we have tried to trim it the best we can.
No, we have to cut back.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not exactly sure how to word this or frame it, but I was wondering how much collaborating or networking you do. I feel like a large part of water goes down the sewer. And isn't there some way to incorporate rainwater in the toileting part of our homes and our businesses to supplement? And you don't really have to clean it as much as other water. You know, I'm not talking about mixing the two. This is just toileting water. And when you go out to the store, you gotta use the restroom. What you use at the sink is different than what is at the toilet. And couldn't we collaborate with builders or somebody and somehow get that supplemental water?
So out west, that is a practice that where you have a hard time finding source water and you battle with droughts and things like that. That's a reasonable solution to the issues that they face out there. We're fortunate enough to have the Chattahoochee River and have a good water supply. So in order to do that, we would have to run a whole new separate infrastructure system to be able to do something like that. And it's just not cost efficient, as well as permits. John might can touch on this for a minute. We had a golf course recently approach us about using that type of water just to irrigate the golf course. And from the Environmental Protection Division permitting requirement, it wasn't worth the money that it would cost to implement it. Am I right, John?
Yeah, you'd end up spending as much money cleaning up or using that water as you would basically to use the water that we already have cleaned up going through the distribution system.
Yeah, and that's just the water golf course. So.
Well, I know in my neighborhood, I do have neighbors who get their water turned off. And it'll be pouring down rain outside and they can't flush their toilet. And, you know, I'm like, well, there should be a way to incorporate rainwater in the toileting.
And that's a separate issue we can talk about all the time.
I mean,
I
realize it's not y'all's
Yes.
big deal, but I mean, like with builders or.
That's a plumbing code issue, is
Yeah.
what that is.
Of course, residents can always set up a rain barrel. That's a conservation measure that some people employ, and they collect their own rainwater off their roofs and that fall on areas of the yard that they can collect. And that's some water that could be reused, but that's a personal effort that a resident can take to use it for toilet flushing, for example. So that's one alternative that could be used.
Any questions?
Well, I've got a few questions that were submitted. Every time we do a town hall, we open it up for people in the community who want to email us a question if they were not able to attend. And so one of those questions that I have here is, are we still under a water conservation program? And if so, what exactly is that? And Vic,
I'll take that one. The state of Georgia has a Georgia Water Stewardship Act, and that's been in place for quite some time, around 2010 or so. And what that does, it requires all utilities across the state of Georgia to monitor and to enforce some watering restriction requirements on folks that use public water systems. So in our area, each area is divided up and you're designated under a particular drought level based on how much the drought is affecting that area. Currently, we are under drought level 0, which means basically there's not a drought. And even under a drought level 0, though, residents or customers are suggested to not use water between the hours of 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So that's the hottest part of the day, and that's when water evaporates the most. So that's the required level right now under a drought level 0. If we were to go under a drought level 1, then those water restrictions would still apply, but we would simply educate the public more, remind the public more that those are in effect.
When
So
Vic
they
says
are-
not to use the water, he means irrigation, sprinkler systems, not in your house. You're supposed to be using the water, your grass and such.
That's right, I'm sorry.
I don't want anybody with you running water.
Yeah, irrigation only, so water your grass outside. For shrubs and bushes and grass.
We can still cook dinner.
That's right, you use water inside, that's good.
All right. So another question that I had received was, do we have a notification method when we're working on lines in the area? Usually the first indication I have is being done on water lines is the color of my water coming out of my faucet. They really don't have any clue beforehand if someone is working on something until after the work has already begun. So, I don't know, Jeremy, with your experience in field services?
Yeah, so when we have two different types of work orders, if you will. You have your planned and scheduled maintenance work order, and then you have an emergency work order that you may have an emergency break that you have to respond to. So the way we make those decisions and the way we communicate those is if a customer calls in a water leak and it's a slow leak and it's not an emergency, we call an emergency something that is flooding a home and causing property damage, could cause life or death situation, impact traffic. Those type of things are emergencies. So emergencies we deal with immediately. We fix immediately. If there's a customer without water service, so when we have those, we do our best to notify the customers in that area, but oftentimes we spend so much time notifying them that we could be spending fixing that water pipe and getting it back in service. So they make a field decision out there, hey, what's quicker? Can we fix this pipe, or will we be quicker to notify each and every customer that's involved? Now we do, when I say notify, we put it on our social media sites, we put it on our websites, but we may not go door to door and knock on every customer's door and tell them at that moment. Now if it's scheduled work, if it's a slow leak that someone called and we put a work order in the system and we go a week later or after we get locates on it and we go out to make that repair, then we notify the customer prior to coming, let them know, hey, we're coming out to work in your yard that day and here's what you can expect. And then we usually follow up afterwards to make sure they're happy and things like that. So two different scenarios, emergency and then scheduled work. Emergencies, we go to work usually. Scheduled work, we do the notifications.
Thank you, June. So another question I received, I think Carl, this one's probably going to be great for you. I know you're excited. So we've got a question here about the garbage cans and the fees. It says here, new garbage cans are going into effect. Why is there a charge?
So, great question, thank you. So Columbus Water Works, although you see the garbage cans and the garbage fees on your bill, we are actually just a pass-through entity for the garbage service for the city. The city doesn't send out monthly bills for anything, and so they use us to pass that bill out monthly. It used to be attached to taxes, but it's passed through monthly. So with the new garbage fees that was decided on by city council, that's just a pass-through entity on our side. We don't control garbage fees, garbage cans. We just pass the bill on to the city.
Well, I was just going to add that if you guys do have questions about anything connected to your garbage, whether it was picked up, wasn't picked up, how much it costs, getting cans, any of that kind of stuff, if you go to 311 or visit their website, the Columbus Consolidated Government Citizen Services Group, they will take care of you there, so.
No.
I know, we tried.
In December, and I was down there in September, and I ordered it in December.
Me too. Me too.
And people put the means in trash and sit them on the street.
Well, hopefully they will be able to get their stuff at the optimal level that they would like to provide. All right. So one other question that we received was, what was it? Because I had found it. So this one is about fluoride and the recent decision with the lawsuit in California. Why are we still putting fluoride in our water here in Columbus, Georgia?
Right, I'll take a stab at that one. So fluoride is put in our water at our water treatment plant. It's part of our permit. The state EPD says, hey, you have to put fluoride in the drinking water at a certain part per million, am I right there? So we have to do that. Now, we recognize that recently in California, there was a judge that made a decision that fluoride could cause some health effects on people. And the EPD and EPA didn't necessarily agree with what that judge said. It's certain concentration levels, and what's being put in the drinking water does not reach that concentration level. So we're watching that situation unfold like maybe some of you guys are. We're fortunate enough, we're members of AWWA, the American Water Works Association, so we get emails constantly from them updating us on requirements and legal things and health alerts and things like that. And got one last week notifying us that, hey, this judge had made this decision, but from an Environmental Protection Agency standpoint, they're sticking to their guns on it. So right now, we still have to put fluoride in our water, part of our permit. When the Environmental Protection Division tells us something different, then we will respond different. But right now, we have to do that.
All right, that is all the questions that I have. Are there any other questions from the audience? All right. Well, thank you guys very, very much for coming out and joining us again this year. And if you do end up having a question that you think of later on, feel free to go to our website and send us an email. We'll be happy to get back with you. So, thank you.
Thank you.